Harry ho, everybody. Don't know what the accent's about. But anyway, this is the first time I'm doing this. Every Friday from now on this channel, I'm going to be doing basically like a horror news roundup for the week. You know, so anything that I see in the news revolving around horror, I may talk about a bit. Now this week I'm just talking really movie news, but I will also sort of incorporate like horror comics and things like that as well. I might talk a little bit about over the piece, but right now it's just the movie news, and I will be doing some other major movie news that might not be totally horror related. So anyway, to start off with, I noticed that Scream 4 has its second trailer's been released this week, and the film's going to be out on the 15th of April, and it reunites Wes Craven, the director and creator of Scream, with a lot of the original cast members like Courtney Cox and David Arquette and Neve Campbell are all back, and the story seems to be, from the trailer that I can see, it seems to just knock things over. It seems to be like a sort of passing on in the baton sort of thing. It looks like there's going to be a lot of newer characters, sort of younger people that are brought in, because it's a slasher flick, and slasher flicks are primarily sort of teenage and early 20s sort of ground. You know, you don't really go much further than that, you know, in your sort of classic slasher films. So I think that's quite maybe a good idea that they're bringing in a new cast. What it does mean is that if it is a sort of passing on in the baton, then it means that the original characters could all be for the chop. So as far as I can see, it's about how there's a day now in the town where the killings of Scream have taken place, where they sort of almost macabrely, is that a word? I don't know, I'm using it, macabrely celebrate the anniversary of when all the sort of killings started, and Neve Campbell's character Sydney comes back to the town, and then the killings start over again. So that's what it seems to be about. I was actually surprised when I looked at the trailer. It actually really looks just like, it looks like it's been shot just like the original Scream films, which is pretty cool. I have to say I lost a little bit with the Scream films when it got into the sort of third one, but the first one I think is like a classic horror film, postmodern horror film, and it systematically reinvented the slasher genre while actually also poking fun at it. So anyway, that looks quite good. Out on the 15th of April. And I also, another film that's coming out today here in the UK is The Ward, John Carpenter's new film. Now I've talked about this in another video. It's being released in the UK as a sort of trial to see if it will be successful, and if so, then it will be released in America. And don't hold your breath though, because John Carpenter films normally do quite poorly in cinema, and then they find a video audience afterwards. So looking forward to that. If you want to know what that's about, I've got another video that I already did on The Ward. It's set in an insane asylum in the 1960s, so it's John Carpenter. It should be good. Some of the reviews are coming in now, and while early previews weren't that great, some of the reviews that are coming in now are actually saying it's pretty decent. So pretty decent Carpenter means better than most horror films. So really looking forward to that. You may be asking, why am I not there tonight? Well, basically, I need to stop saying basically, but I'm going to say it. I'm studying at the moment, so I had to choose that over going to see that film, which is a bit gun. Anyway, so that's out tonight, so go and check that if you're if I can even speak, go and check that out if you're in the UK. And another bit of movie news that I noticed is that there's Channel 4's Fright Fest, which is a sort of annual horror festival, is in Glasgow here this year. Why am I not there with a camera documenting it? Again, too much work to do. But what I noticed is that there's a film called Little Deaths, which is being shown there, and it's an anthology horror film. And if you look at some other videos, you'll see that anthology horror is one of my favourite subgenres. I absolutely love anthology horror, and I've just seen the poster art. I don't really know too much about the film. I do know that it's the tagline's basically saying it's a film that darkly explores, I think, sex and violence basically. So although we'll see what it's like, but looking forward to checking out, or at least hearing about it, because like I say, I'm a completist. I want to have seen every anthology horror film ever, because I'm going to do a review series on all of them. Anyway, doesn't matter. So check that out, Little Deaths, if you get a chance to see it, if you're out in the Glasgow area. I don't know if there's any other screenings going on. I'll maybe do a video if there are. And the last bit of news obviously was the Alien 5 news, which was going to be a prequel, which has now been renamed Prometheus, and looks like it's not going to be an Alien prequel anymore. Looks like it's probably going to be a standalone film, but it may be in the Alien universe or whatever. I mean, there may be a connection, but it seems to have been refitted to be its own sort of new franchise, so that's very interesting. I really hope they don't do it in 3D though. So the last bit of news was probably the biggest bit of news of the week, which isn't really horror orientated, but I'm a massive fan of Christopher Nolan. I'm a huge fan of The Dark Knight, and the sequel to The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, which by the way I'm not too happy on the name, but we have casting news now that Tom Hardy is going to be Bane as a villain, and Anne Hathaway is going to be Catwoman. Now we can all complain about casting choices, but let's be fair, most of us complained about Heath Ledger and he blew everybody away, so in Nolan we trust. But Tom Hardy I think will be excellent. Anne Hathaway I'm sure will be good. Christopher Nolan knows what he's doing, although I'm not that happy about the Catwoman character being there, but I'm going to do a video specifically on that anyway. So that's a roundup of the sort of weekly news that interested me. Any of you guys get any news, anything that you've heard about over the past week or few weeks that you'd like to share? And next Friday I will do another recap of all the latest horror news. So see you then.